There you go. So here's what I want you to pay attention to. So you start from here, on your general trail will be something like this with the aim of going to the wall, right? Sorry for the bad drawing, but like eventually your goal is to be on the wall. Then you come right here and then story repeats. Now, uh, let's say your transitions are here that happen, and where we start kind of preparing for them would be here, here, or eventually like right about when you're crossing. So when you're coming about here, if you're going down on your transition about here, then a lot of the times, unless you ditch the troll very quickly, it will pull you a lot to this side. Like too much weight is pulling you here, rather than you you could have prepared going like boop, 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 preparing that and like getting a lot of the gas and getting that big angle, so like you're scattering around the like what I'd advise you is change your focus towards the curves now. Let's go back to that donut mentality and apply it here. Let's put our eyes on the curb and the curb and the curb and the curb, and you go about your day around the curb. Then once you're about here, you know okay, I've used the curb to help me. Now it's like you're climbing the mountain. Okay, you use a bit of bridges or like road marks and people that left on the mountain, so you follow the trail, right? And now you're like, okay, this is the end. That's good enough. It helped me because I have another goal. I'm gonna go this side, not like the other people. So then what you do is okay, enough of the trail, enough of the curb, and now you go with that big angle once you do this big loop. So what essentially is happening, the more you open the space, the wider you go. You're opening up like one big loop, boom, like this. Then you come here, and right about here, before the middle, you will be with the big angle, and then very slowly you will do progressive like this, rather than this big dip. Make sense? This is a big drastic sudden dip, like boom, boom. So, that usually I see you do. I'm thinking what color to use if I can change them, but the big dip usually happens in here, like in the center. So this is pretty much the big dip where it happens, and this always leads you to some sort of a fail. It screws your angle, it screws the inertia, like it screws the weight trans. It just the weight you send pulls you towards this rather than you preparing yourself and balancing yourself for a nice good weight transfer that will be somewhere here. And then if you want, you could slightly turn your steering wheel to this side while you're very gently also increasing up the throttle. So it was gonna be like something like a very slow nice mount and then going back down. Most of the time you would do right about this thing. So you will dip very fast while you reach the middle, which is already too late. Does this make sense? So you're late here, and then you have to resort to this in order to survive. This is what we reserve to.
Okay.
Because what comes in is the fear factor. So the fear factor is this wall. Because you know, oh crap, I'm too fast, I'm too late, now I'm gonna hit. And then I'll have to go over again, restart, reposition, instead of like, because yes, momentum is a thing. When you crash and you have to start all over, yes, you could lose your momentum being in the zone, in the focus. So I agree to some extent, but in order for you to get to that next step, next level, you gotta push through that. You gotta push through this. The fear factor is always on the transitions. This is kind of, you could kind of say that this is the fear factor if if you put like a bit of a alien eyes and you see the.
But the thing is I'm not transitioning early enough.
Yes, so if you prepare yourself, Like you come in here and you prepare early. So prepare early,
Yeah.
stay on the
Like
gas.
what you call fear factor, I call reacting because I didn't transition early enough. Now I'm having to compensate for my earlier mistake. And now that I'm reacting, I'm doing this sharp thing. I know you call it fear, I call it reacting. But my mistake was before that, I made a mistake that I didn't start ramping down and preparing the transition early enough. If I do that, you're saying my car will transition slower, turn, and I have more control on the wall, right?
So if you transition early, you have more space, so more distance, more space and more length of the road to transition, get the basically be able to have time to change the angle, do your transition, and then you end up like already ready with the transition or prepared about here and you go on your way. Or event lost case you'll be like already just entering the wall and you have done your transition and now it's just about keeping that trajectory the long road.
I would draw the alien where the yellow line is, that I'm not doing it there. I don't know there's a monster there that I'm missing. And that's my problem. The
So
one right above the head, right there. Nope. Right where the go, move
this
your
zone
mouse
here, right?
right here. Right in there
So
is where I should have started and I didn't. And that's where
because
probably my biggest problem is. Once I make that mistake, everything else is reactionary and not smooth.
so this is what I've noticed is the problem is in the a lot of the times in the setup. If you remember what I told you, if you get
Right.
the right
Right.
approach, if you have the right approach, it's like everything else just falls in place. So pretty
Right.
much
Exactly right.
what is happening is like every attempt you had that I saw, you come in here and now you're like, ah fuck again this place, like you're trying to set up yourself and figure out what's exactly screwing you because in your mind you might not realize it's always this fucking zone here. There's something is up with this place that screws you over to here. It progresses to this side, but you don't know what it is,
No,
and it
no,
goes
I
into
didn't
a
know that.
chain.
I didn't know that at all. I thought I was doing that fine. That's my
So,
problem. I thought that side was fine. So I didn't even know I had a problem on that side.
no, I see. Because
On the left side,
most
I
of the
thought I
time,
had no problem there, but that was my mistake. I did not know my problem originates there or the right side.
I see. Because most of the time, the one of the mistake on one side can transition to the other side. Because you might be driving here, but your mind is not here. You don't like. You're already fine. Yeah, kind of. I can figure out the wall, kind of and stuff. Like your mind most likely will be with the place that really pisses you off, or like you're failing, if you don't know it. But if you figure it
I didn't
out,
know I was failing over here. I thought I had nailed that side. So that's new to me. I'm not offended. It's just new to me because I thought I was getting that side right,
okay, I
but
see.
I thought it was the other side I was getting wrong. But it's enlightening because that tells me, because I thought I was enjoying this side too long because I'm going along and I don't transition. So it's like I'm fat and happy enjoying the surf of the left side, and then I neglect getting ready for the right side because I enjoyed the left side too long. That that is enlightening to me, and it's good information.
So pretty much what you gotta do is trade, like get the donut mentality. Let's use the curbs into our advantage and pretty much prepare yourself, get that approach ready. Like you're already ready. Like stage one, you might be shallow here. That's not the problem here and here, but right here you should be thinking about quickly and smoothly getting that big angle. So this is like in the middle of the area, like maybe last call here. Get a bigger angle, transition, get it here, and get prepared. Start transition early before the middle of the road so that you can get here. I'm speaking mainly, this is mainly after, some practice when your tires have heated up. One thing that you might have seen in some of the replays is that I would transition in the middle of the road. This is only happening in the beginning because I have tons
And
of grip when the tires
yep,
are cooked, and that's why we agreed. I believe
right.
some of the last sessions we decided let's talk about when the tires are warmed up, because like most
Yep.
of my driving is when the tires are warmed up. So like you warm up, and then like this part of like the grippy tires, like the cold tires, is like out of the story, because like you spend 40 50 minutes or 30 minutes the rest of your time driving with this. So
Hmm. Right.
that's pretty much it.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
this
Good.
is my advice to this.